Welcome to our devotional time at Temple Baptist Church here in Poplar, Bluff, Missouri. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you and bring a little bit of God's Word to you. Today we're going to be in 1 John chapter 4. And I just have one verse today. Usually I have more than one verse, or I usually just read one verse, and then I ask you to read the rest of them. But today we're just do it a little bit different. This will work out. But 1 John chapter 4 and verse 8 says this: He who does not love does not know God, for God is love. We all know that, I think, are those of us that are God's children know that. But you know, just if more would respond to and believe the message that God is love. And John's letter here is saying that without God love in our heart, we can't even profess to know Him. You know, how can we, if we don't have the love of God in our hearts, how can we profess to know Him? We don't really know God, and even if we think we do, if our lives aren't characterized by His love, you know. So here's the thing we find ourselves in. If you know, he who does not love does not know God, for God is love. So we gotta love our fellow man. You know, God rules by love, doesn't He? By love, by His love, we receive mercy, we receive forgiveness and grace. Even God's righteous judgment, justice and judgment also shows His love. He loves us, even though He's, you know, it's like a parent correcting their child. When you love that child, you're going to correct him if he's wrong. You're not going to let him just, or her, I don't want to be that way, but, everything, everything that He is and everything that He does is breathed in His love. So His love. And so, you know, I've heard of missionaries, and there's all kinds of stories about missionaries, and they'd begin, one particular missionary had begun a little church and that ministered to a family who had lost a toddler by drowning in an open cesspool. This was in China, and Chinese people by tradition did little for a child at death because babies and small children died often. What a tragedy that is, that would be there, but that's it. But the church gave this little girl a caring funeral. And when the neighbors marveled and asked, "Who are these people?" they were told, "It's the people who love." It's the people who love. So we, as God's children, we are to love one another. We are to love our fellow man. Now, I'm not saying that we agree with everything they do, or we certainly don't most times, or a lot of times, but love. He that loveth know not God. He that loveth not knoweth not God. I'll get that right in a minute. For God is love. You know, just mark our lives by how we love others. It's our prayer that you've been blessed today by a little bit of God's Word. We invite you to our services here at Temple. We meet on Sunday mornings for our first service at 8 o'clock. Then we have a Sunday school class at 9, and then 10 o'clock for our second worship service. And then Sunday nights we meet at 6 o'clock, and Wednesday nights at 7. Come and be a part of those services. May God bless you is our prayer.